proceed. Now we want to take you to the coastal region for an update on the ongoing industrial action by nurses. We have our reporter Ann Buru, who has been following up this developing story for us. A very good afternoon, Ann. Probably just tell us more about what is the new development with regards to this industrial action today.
It is indeed a good afternoon to you, Safina Cheng at Broadcasting House, and we're coming live to you from Mombasa County. And right now I'm standing outside the Governor 001's office, where the clinical nurses and nurses from Coast Provincial General Hospital have had a protestation march from Coast General Hospital to the Governor's office. Their problems are still the same. Their grievances have not been heard, but at least they had a meeting with the Governor last week. They came up with a few resolutions, but still they feel that their the return to work formula is not taken care of, and they still want something to be done by the government so that they can go back to work. And I'll be joined by the Kenya National Union of Nurses branch secretary Bwana Maroko, who is just going to give us a brief of what has happened today and what they expect the governor of 001 to do for them. Karibu sana Bwana Maroko on set.
Yeah, it's true that we had a meeting last week where we saw that at least there was light at the end of the tunnel. Unfortunately, when we were meant to fine-tune that agreement on Wednesday, the government was not remittances, and there was an aspect of promotions that we did not agree to, whereby they to a later date that was meant. Asking the county government to be very specific and give us timelines in terms of remittances, because we had agreed that they will remit up to 2 months at least, and then secure an agreement with the banks so that our members are not disadvantaged when it comes to payment of salaries, because you realize that once the salaries are paid and the remittances have not been done, the banks take up that money that is paid to the salary members. So we'd agreed up to that end, but they were, as I've said, pussyfoot to actually specify in terms of how much and how many months they would pay. So we called upon them to actually come up with that aspect with the time, because the previous day they were there. So when they could not do this, we pulled out of the meetings, and now we are demanding for them to actually ensure that they pay the 4 months in the remittances. They ensure that all promotions that were due done, complete as issued, and basically they also, because they have also delayed on phase 2 promotions, they initiate the process and they ensure that they are done within the shortest time possible. So wherever they call us for meetings, we are ready. We are ready to engage them despite the stalemate that is ongoing. So we are asking upon the county administration through the county secretary and the county public service board to find a day, because when we give you time to organize yourself and prepare for discussions going forth. So as we speak today, they haven't called us for meetings. I know there are lobbyings here and there, but then we need an official invite so that we can sit down, discuss the contentious issues, and come up with an agreement that will serve us and the county at large. And another thing is that wherever as much as we are on strike here locally in Mombasa, we also know that we are entangled in another national strike that is going concurrently. So the issues raised in the national strike should also be implemented. They should also catch the attention of the county administration. One, we are calling for a risk allowance. We know there is a negotiated risk allowance of 15,000. There is nothing much we can take more than, less than that. So they should also ensure that this catches their attention. Also, secondly, we also need a group life insurance for our members, especially during this COVID pandemic, because we know we have lost our colleagues. Mombasa, we lost 2 nurses. Their families have not been compensated even through WIBA, which is already in our laws. So the county government should take this as a responsibility that the constitution and the available laws are provided for them to ensure that the families of our colleagues are also compensated. This is not much to ask, especially where now the Council of Governor Chair says that we come back and negotiate with the counties. What do we need to negotiate with the county to compensate through WIBA? They should take this up and ensure that the process that are needed, necessary to ensure that the families are compensated, are taken into account, and they ensure that the families are, they get in touch with the families and they compensate them. So for the risk allowance, there is nothing we are going to take less than 15K. Yeah.
We can be joined by Franklin, who's just going to tell us. I have a question for you. I'm trying to understand, because the county government says you're really trying to be rigid. Is there going to be a throughway this time if you're going to be called for dialogue? Will you put down your stance?
We have been open to dialogue and we are always available for such meetings. However, we want to ask the government side or the employer to be serious when handling. They are there to offer a solution to the problem.
All right, that is Ann Buru there speaking to some of the union officials from the coastal region representing nurses, talking about some of the grievances they say they have raised to the county government, and they say their demands have not been met, pledging that they are going to continue with their industrial action until their grievances are heard, an industrial action that is going on concurrently with the national industrial action by nurses. Now we'll be following up that story.